Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, because we're on here nice and early in the morning. Encoding Overload. Turn down your video. Okay, well, good. Never mind. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of The Desk. We're here bright and early on a beautiful Saturday morning. My platform, the Rant Rave, bitch, blowing all things that encompass OCW and its subsidiaries. Listener discretion is strongly advised. This is episode 164, as I said, maybe not. With me today, because I've just did a bunch of content for the other thing, is
How are you going to say the other thing?
the House of Hoot, the retired legend, the man you love to hate with the man you hate to love. It is Pew, Dan Pew, and me.
First of all,
First of all,
I'm never retired.
Yeah, you're always retired. You're gone. You're gone, thankfully.
Yeah. Second of all, thank you. Hello.
Hi. You literally wanted this time after we finished. You're like,
because I was just about to rant on OCW on the other podcast. Basically, I came in. Obviously I left the OCW Discord to start my own thing, which is still very much in the works. But for now, I came back into it the other day. And the reason that I came back into it was because I found out something that had previously happened that made me annoyed enough that I had to tell people about it. Then you wouldn't give me the proper permissions to tell people about it. So I dissipated. I got on with what I was doing. I moved on with my life. Then I remembered that I hadn't done my resolution follow-up thing that I was going to do. And there's like a weird feeling hovering over OCW when I'm around, which I'm aware of. So now that I'm not there, everyone's like relaxed.
You know what? Yeah, it's actually... That's not. I won't discount that. That's actually right. Yeah.
Like I can see it happening. But I wanted to come because
there's
some
specific
happiness.
Things
that I wanted to. No, it's not happiness.
It's happiness.
It's stupidity.
No, it's not.
It's ignorance is what it is. So I wanted to come because at the moment, and I don't know. I'm talking about all of you basically. There's been for a long time. There's been Jake versus everybody in terms of why can't you follow F.P.R.
Nah, and not everybody.
No, not everybody, but there's a lot of people that fall into it. And when I saw the other day that Jake was yelling about it when he did his fucking F.P.R. report thing, it was the most ridiculous thing in the world because it shouldn't be happening like this.
Well, not to that. You know what I say to that though? No,
but
you know what I say to that? I say to that when people, because let's not forget that people have been, F.P.R. always becomes a subject, and there's always, even since the dawn of time. Like if it wasn't Jake, it would be you. If it wasn't you, it would be the Steve. If it wasn't the Steve, it would be somebody else. And it's
this isn't on Jake. This is on the roster, is what I'm saying.
No, but I'm just saying the thing with Jake is he actually provided a point by point breakdown. Generally, when people have the long F.P.R.-ish for posts or whatever, they just kind of generalist or they'll point to one specific instance or whatever. Jake literally fucking did the full spectrum breakdown, mostly match by match by match by match, which people aren't like used to seeing. So I just wanted to be clear, in that respect.
You made clear in making a point that I wasn't making.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry.
My point was
carry on.
He shouldn't have had to do this because the fucking roster can't follow simple instructions. Now, there's a few reasons that the roster can't follow simple instructions.
It's not the roster.
One is a chunk of the roster.
Nah.
Let me say the roster as a word, as a placeholder word.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm not going to name names. I'm going to say the roster.
No, that's fair. All right. Fair.
Or I could say the F.P.R. breakers, or I could say the Turmoil rookies, or whatever you want me to say.
Just say roster. And once you clarify, once you have the nuance, then we're good. So you said roster. Okay,
yeah. Continue. So I'm saying roster as a placeholder. So basically, every time that these things come up, you get the same. So KD is a name that always comes up. I said I wasn't going to name names. I'm going to name this name in particular. KD he's not going to read the rules. I don't know why anyone thinks he is going to read the rules. He has no interest in reading the rules. He reads the show because he is there, but he's here to watch the matches. He just wants to play, wants to watch matches. That's how KD's always been. I've always said that KD's the benchmark of what an OCW fan is. Everything that you do, you should be looking, what will KD think about this? Is KD going to enjoy this? That's how I've always pitched my shit. If you do wrestling shit, KD will be receptive to it. That's what I've always thought. KD's never been clean when it comes to fighting. Never, ever, ever, ever. You could have OCW for the next 150 years, and KD will still be breaking the rules on the 149th year because he is a guy that, as always, he sometimes will fight clean, sometimes he won't. Sometimes it depends if he likes you. If you white, KD will beat the fuck out of you, and you don't care about the rules. That used to be the joke in OCW. I don't think it still happens, but no, it did. He used to beat the fuck out of like Parker, me, and then with Ken, he'd get a clean match in. Stuff like this is happened before the dawn of OCW. It will continue to happen. You can't expect. So you can expect that your roster will follow the rules. You can't expect the roster to follow the rules if the people that they DM with don't follow the rules. If the only interactions they have are with people that don't follow rules, then they don't think that they have to follow rules anymore, is the way that I look at it. So if you look at the Turmoil roster side, the Turmoil rookies specifically, I was playing some of them, and there was F.P.R breaks in every single match. Damian Bourne you play with, I mean, he's well documented in what he was doing during matches. Not good things. But that comes from the fact that they were all playing each other, all breaking rules, calling each other out on it, but still breaking rules. Like there was no comeback on it, which then bled into, I'm going to come into this match and I'm going to break rules because the rules don't matter. The rules do matter. That's what I'm doing it to my camera right now. I'm pointing in the camera, but
there's no camera. It's the best part.
The rules are there and have been there specifically because this game is broken. Now, if you want to play the game in a way that is not fair and is not how we play it, go and play in a ranked match. If you can't follow the simple rules in OCW, and they're very fucking simple, they're so simple. Like, there are nuances to them, but I have never come across... Like, if you go back through the years that I've been in OCW, I've maybe had 2 or 3 F.P.R breaks where I've kind of... And that's in, 2011 once when I was back properly. So in that 8-year period, I probably broke F.P.R 3-4 times. Every time that I break F.P.R by mistake, I surrender control of the match. I don't take advantage of it, so it isn't an issue. So that's how you should kind of embrace things in OCW. If you know that you've broke F.P.R, then stop. Give the match over to the other guy. Now, I was reading about crappling and people not understanding what crappling was. It's all in the rules. It's not difficult. If you've read them, and if you've come into OCW and you've basically signed your application saying, I've read the rules, and then you don't read, and then you don't follow the rules, then you've lied on your application, which means that you shouldn't be in OCW. The problem that I had for a long time with trying to tell people they broke the rules was that I wasn't allowed to wield the power that I wanted to wield, to put it nicely. So with you would say, oh, just be chill when you're trying to tell somebody that they're breaking the rules. Because I would come to somebody and be like, you broke this rule. And they'd be like, well, I didn't think it was a rule. And immediately, as soon as somebody bullshits me to my face or through Discord or whatever, I immediately have an issue with you. And what happened this week was, I'm not going to name a name. Well, fuck it, I will name a name. The new guy, who is an old guy, told Jake that the game sometimes causes certain things to happen that are in direct contradiction of F.P.R or contravention. What's the word I'm trying to say?
I don't know.
That are breaking F.P.R. So he said to Jake, somebody who plays this game on average for 48 hours every single week, he doesn't sleep. He just plays this game over and over again. He just keeps playing it. He doesn't care about his wife. He doesn't care about his life. He just cares about OCW. That's what Jake does. Jake lives and breathes OCW. He could not give a fly. He literally, I don't know if you've seen the setup in his living room, but he has a desk next to the TV. So his wife has the option of watching the side of Jake or half of the TV. She doesn't have the option of watching the TV because Jake is always doing OCW stuff. To tell him that he is incorrect, but to tell him that he is incorrect about rules that he lives and fucking breathes is... A, disrespectful, and B, the most stupid thing you can do, because he's second only to me in pettiness, in picking something up and being petty about it. He came to me after the match that I had with Doc and said that he basically had a big rant at me that I shouldn't have allowed Doc to break F.P.R in a match. I don't care. Like, at that point, I was like, he won the match. It was a title match, whatever. The 3 kick-out rule didn't apply because I'd been previously told that it didn't apply. And Jake was trying to fight to say that it did. Jake does the FPR shit so you don't have to. Jake does the FPR shit so that everyone can play nice. FPR is the equivalent of when we get into, so you hear the thing all the time, I'm going to look after you. Did you see Dark Side of the Ring?
Wait, that's a series on YouTube, from Vice.
On Vice, yeah.
I saw some of them. Not all
so
of
there's
them.
a quote from Bret Hart in that basically says he tried to say to Shawn Michaels that I'm always going to look after you in the ring. That's our equivalent of FPR. And Shawn Michaels said, go fuck yourself, which is basically what Odin Klein said to Jake in this match.
Go fuck yourself.
So that's our equivalent of looking after each other. That was the main issue that I always had with the cheat. He sees I call him the cheat instead of his name. But when he was doing all of his manipulation, I didn't give a fuck because he was manipulating weak-willed individuals, and they're still in OCW, but we'll talk about that at a different time. He was manipulating idiots. So idiots were doing his bidding. I don't care about idiots doing bidding. I do care about people actively breaking FPR. So he was cheating. He was actively baking his cause so that they would be better than everyone else's, which is cheating, which is not looking after your opponent. The only thing that we have, and I said this at the time, was the only thing that you have is that you can trust that you're on a level playing field with your opponent in OCW. Even if you hate them, even if you cannot stand them, you think they're a piece of shit, every time you get one-on-one with a person, you should be able to trust that the person opposite you, even if you're both on like non-speaking terms, the person opposite you has followed the rules and you're going to have a clean match with them. That's the bare minimum that you expect in OCW. I can understand if you're a fresh off the boat rookie, but this guy and a few of the guys that were picked up in Jake's report were not fresh off the boat rookies. KD, I know people will say you're making excuses for KD and whatever.
I didn't even want to defend him because the only thing with KD is I spoke to KD. His issue is the Tyler / Crapple stuff. That's basically it. Because in the last game we didn't really have a rule about it. We just kind of let it happen, and we would kind of be like, "Hey, man, relax yourself." This year we actually have a rule on it, and we enforce it. And like you said, the game is broken, and all we really have is FPR. My take on it is this is where me and Jake disagree. Jake is like that when people go, well, I won anyway, so it doesn't matter. He's like, oh, it doesn't matter, it still matters. And my thing is if it doesn't affect the outcome of the match, I'm not really gonna be. I don't care as much because I don't care as much. You can call it complacent, but the thing is, with the amount of moving parts, as long as it's not a pay-per-view, like it doesn't really bug me. For example, in the Rex match that he had with Lee, he broke FPR in the starting thing of the match. So what did he do? He compensated. He did some weird little spot. He did a nice spot, and then he left himself open so that fucking Lee could tag him back. That's what we call advanced stuff. I would prefer people do that, but that's something that they're not going to know how to do anyway. So rather than tell them to do that, no, but for me to tell anybody to do that who's like a rookie or even a sophomore, it's like they're not going to be able to do that. So instead of saying, oh, you can compensate, you just got to be like, try to do better. Because at the end of the day, it's a hobby. It's a serious hobby, but I don't want it. It still has to be fun. You get what I'm saying? Like if you do something that you still want to have fun and you don't want to be, what's the word? Like you don't want to, like, matter of fact, I'll take it to this example, this weird offshoot. There was a fight that happened last week between two fathers because during like a soccer game with 7-year-olds, a 13-year-old girl referee made a bad call. So two grown men began to fight over a 7-year-old girl soccer match. Like, that's what I want to avoid, that kind of fucking finicky energy. As long as it doesn't affect the pay-per-view, that's my personal feeling. That's
the shit that's always been in OCW. People have personal issues with each other. It's always been the case because it's the internet and we can't all real life people. We're not all the same people. We don't have compatible personalities all the time, which is fine. But the bare minimum is basically just have a decent match and be clean with the other person. If you're doing it because you don't understand, then take on board that you don't understand and try and be better next time. Cool. If you're consistently doing it, go fuck yourself because you are breaking the one tenant of OCW. You can do whatever the fuck. You can look how you want. You can write what you want. You can do anything. But if you're coming into the game knowing that you're going to break FPR or knowing that, or not being
Well, basically,
being receptive
if
to
you're
the
coming
fact
in to say that you read the handbook and you understand it, but you really
yeah,
don't, and you're gonna try to wing
yeah,
it, and yeah, it's not
yeah.
really a good idea. Don't do that.
Winging it doesn't work. And it does, the way that the application is written does, it seems like a box ticking exercise. It does.
It really
Because
does.
yeah, but it's not.
But
So
that's
don't.
also another that's a systematic problem that we have. Is there's really too many moving parts. When we had the FPR test, it became an issue because I know I'm paraphrasing, but I think at one point either Spider missed one or he didn't get one, and I uploaded it. I don't remember the specifics, but I basically threw him under the bus, and he was furious. And then we came to the
Oh, I remember
conclusion.
that. Yeah. I
We
remember
came
that.
to the conclusion that trial by fire, because in the old days it was the same way. You didn't have an FPR test, and then at one point we started doing them, and then we stopped, and then we started, and we stopped. It's like we don't, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't.
At the moment, I think that we do. Oh no,
well, no,
you do.
we stopped. We stopped a while
No, I
ago.
know, but I mean, like, I think it would be in your best interest at the moment because the fresh off the boat rookies are all coming in with FPR issues.
Yeah, well,
So-
see, the issue then with that becomes like that's another step, that's another process that someone has to go through. Like the object of a dark match is to have what you call it. Oh my god, is basically like a test, but it's a test that someone looks over, and the problem is getting that person to look over. So all it takes is one time not looking over, one time not returning a fucking text or a DM. So then what, does the match get scrapped? And then it just this is literally what happened. And it was like
Bin the match.
someone dropped the ball somewhere, and then it became a whole kerfluffle. So it's easier to just have them go up, and then if they fuck up, hey, you did this, this, and this, like what Jake did. Jake pointed out all the issues, and the rookie in this instance, I believe Grim, was like, okay, yeah, I got it, I'm learning, and it happens. Like the energy for this is not really for fresh off the boat people, unless it's how do I explain this? You can have 10 breaks in the match, right? And that's not great. That's terrible. But you can have 10 breaks in the match, and you can tell that someone is trying FPR, but they're doing it poorly. And then you can have 5 breaks in a match when you can see that the guy, is playing ranked. And the five breaks where it looks like ranked, I think is worse than the 10 or 15 breaks where the guy does FPR, but he's missing something. But yeah, that's for a rookie. Like that's for, when you're fresh off, no one really. We're not really judging you. We're like, okay, you got to work on this. It's when you get to sophomores, people who've been here for a minute, or in KD's example, like, yo, you've been here. His main thing is, is crapples and then some other shit. Like, and then he had his reasoning and, you're defending KD. I don't know, man. His last season and the season before that, and he's been relatively pain-free for the longest. It's just this season has been not good, and Jake's been up his ass.
But that's the thing, that it's easy to get on KD. Cass was the same, he would get on KD. And KD isn't necessarily a problem. You can mitigate KD by just explaining shit to him. Once you've explained shit to KD, he's a reasonable guy. He's not an animal, but you just have to approach him in the right way. If you tell him, if you speak to KD in a weird way, then KD's not going to respond to what you're saying. No. But if you're cool, then...
I literally told him, I was like, you gotta watch your crowd. I think Ken talked to him too, but I was like, you gotta watch what you're doing. And he basically explained to me that it's very strange to him because last season, he's like, I literally have to stand there. I'm like, yeah, you do, because the game is broken. That's the problem. The game, literally, if the game had infinite reversals, most of this stuff wouldn't be an issue. The only issue we would have is like, a quick animation strikes, tiling basically, because you would be able to mitigate all of this fuckery, but you can't, because the game isn't balanced. You can literally have the advantage and immediately lose it, not because you're not skilled, but because the game is not balanced, period. Like if you look at the older games, if you look at a lot of the older ones, like the ones we like the most, I think it was 2012 was the one that was really good, or was it 2011? Yeah. Was it 12? Yeah, you can tell. Like
maybe 13 was good as well.
There was similar crapple stuff, but it was a lot there was moonwalking, but it wasn't as bad because the way you would back up was really slow to begin with, so you can always close the distance. The newer games, they're just, it's a weird combination of arcade and sim, and it just doesn't work for a competitive environment, so we have to make it work.
We got to a point there where we didn't even have to have rules. We had to have maybe 3 rules. It was very, very clean because of the game, and I understand that. So the reason that I kind of bring it up is because in that era, the people that came from that era never have an issue with it. Take KD out of the equation, but never have an issue with F.P.R. Like, even if you add stuff to it, because you were playing that way anyway, you used to play in a way that respects your opponent, then you don't have the problem. The reason that we have this problem at the moment is because wins are all that matter in people's heads sometimes. And when that happens, you'll do anything to win. So when you get reversed, you're hitting the strike button straight away because that's the easiest way to not get hit. It is, which makes sense. But you're not here to fuck the other person over. You're here to play within. You can make the match look incredibly one-sided in the confines of F.P.R. if you know what you're doing. It's the thing that you always say is advanced, but I don't. It's just, we were just talking about it on a different podcast before, but I don't see what I do as being complicated. Whereas other people are like, why did he do that? How's he doing that? And I understand that. I understand that it gets to a point where some people are just trying to. I'm driving the Ferrari, they're clinging to the side of it sometimes. Basically, what's happening. It's kind of like the difference between. So a Formula One car is really difficult to drive. You know how to drive your Honda Civic, but you get in a Formula One car and you're going to be stalling it, you're going to be flooding the engine, you're going to be doing all sorts of shit to it.
Why is this steering wheel shaped like a box of cookies?
Fundamentally, you're still driving a car, but it's a different understanding of how this car works. So I don't expect everyone to be able to fucking on the turn of a sixpence. Is that something you guys do? Turn on a sixpence. I don't know what.
I don't know what it. No,
like at the drop of a hat. That's a better way of saying it.
There you go.
So
sure.
I at the drop of a hat be able to tweak how they do everything, because it's a slow process of going from being a guy that plays a game to a guy that has a wrestling match in OCW. It is a slow process, but F.P.R. shouldn't be factored into that process. F.P.R. should be left. F.P.R. is the bare minimum. That's the benchmark of having a good match. If you follow F.P.R., you can't have a bad match. Not really. You can try, but you have to be trying to have a shit match. If you follow F.P.R., then you get there's a big scale that gets to having a great match, and there's bits in the middle. You add stuff to your game, you take it away. You don't have to be the best player to have the best match. It's all this nuanced stuff, but the bare minimum we expect is just follow F.P.R. You shouldn't be breaking F.P.R. more than if you do it once in a match. Immediately turn over control. There's not even a question of. If somebody can go, maybe you should have turned over control. You should have turned over control. That's the answer to that question. I don't know. I just think
it's weird because you say that, and you say that, and Jake will say, "No, it's not every single match. It was like maybe 3."
No, from this, I'm looking at them. There's one.
The two rookie matches. The 2 rookie matches. The main event.
And then even he's literally marked that Parker versus Telos had one and Parker versus Cobra had one. Why is everyone called Parker in OCW?
I don't know. And what's the other one? The Doc, the H2O match technically had one, but not really. But like, those are minor, except the Telos El Parso one. That one could have been worse because basically that was an example of if other factors would have took place and the match could have got, Telos could have lost the match based on an F.P.R. break, which that's a critical issue. To that point, the other factors, when you mentioned how you give up control, to get the damage back or whatever, that's the common sense thing. But someone like Jake was saying at that point, if you should just restart the match. And
it depends on the
gravity.
Severity of the actual break. I think if it's like, because there's FPR breaks in me versus Cass versus H2O. There's a couple of them. H2O is flying all over the place, but there's one where Cass rolls, I accidentally punch him because I was pressing the button to stomp him, but he rolled. So I'd already started doing like a combo. So I immediately stop pressing the combo, stand still, and let him hit me. That's what you do. That's just the way of doing it.
Oh, you taunt or some shit, yeah.
Yeah, that to me isn't cancel the match because you've done a thing that was a genuine mistake. It's happened by mistake, so turn it over. If it's something that's kind of like, if it's something that you've done and you kind of like. If it's something that can't easily be turned over. I
mean, look, like if you hit like 2 ground moves in a row or something, and then that turns the guy red, and then you hit the fucking Y button to do a finisher, you hit the finisher, then that's a critical failure.
But like you can understand one.
I mean, you say that
as long as he gets turned over.
But there's people
I can't understand his tenor match.
The which match? Oh, tenor match. Yeah. No, the tenor match happened from that was a rookie match, so that's the reasoning. So that I'm not even.
There's still 2.5 in a match that was not, and that was also the issue that I had was the way that he was addressing Jake after that. It was the game made me do it. The game didn't make you do it. Don't fucking bullshit. The game allows you to do so much stupid shit that we have to have so many stupid rules. But if you follow those rules, there isn't a point where the game will make you break FPR. There isn't. We've made the rules in such a way that is black and white. If you break FPR, it's your own doing. Every single time, it is your own doing.
Yeah, no, and I believe that. But then again, there have been weird instances that weird goofy shit happens. There's been a couple things like you'll do like moves that take people's reversals that weren't reversed. Shit like that happens. I can't even name them, but there's been quite a few. There was
a bit in my Lucian match where I was reversing in the corner. Nate had me in the corner, and I must have reversed about 5 in a row and didn't lose a reversal. So this shit that does happen. What happened during that was I was on the headset and I said, I'm not I'm reversing, but it's not taking anything from me. So he said, keep reversing. And that was kind of, because it was just something that happened that shouldn't have happened. Wasn't directly breaking FPR because I can't control it. So we kind of went with it and it looked cool. Sometimes
that's advanced shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, for example,
sometimes
the chair
you
spot.
Can make the best of something.
The chair spot with Nate, that's pretty much against FPR. Like, you see what the problem. You see what the problem is, though.
Yeah, because
it sets
the
a bad
people that
example.
know what they're doing sets a bad example. But we're not teaching them. We're not teaching them FPR. They're learning FPR off people at the bottom of the card who are a bit, shall we say, short bus riders.
But let's take the chair spot as an example. Everybody watched the match like that. But if a rookie did that, then there might be a problem.
So
actually, there would be a problem. What the fuck are you doing?
Here's how I address that. Is that in that, basically Nate had just hit his finisher on both of us. In wrestling now, he gets to his feet. He's hit both guys with his best shot. He doesn't know what the fuck to do now. So immediately he goes to somewhere that he's never been before.
No, I know the story because I remember you guys even said you guys were telling him.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. This is advanced stuff. So this is if you're in this match. No, because it is kind of I can't justify it. It's against FPR.
Yeah, I yelled at him to get the chair in the
yeah, but we were telling him he needs to do something. We were both sat up. He needs to do something.
If not, he just stands there or he hits taunt.
So we were both down. We were both pretty much dead. So we basically like do something, like go and get a weapon. I didn't know that I would stay down, but I said go and get the weapon and like fucking hit us with it. Like it's wrestling stuff, and it's the thing that FPR's. Okay, so this is
you really can't defend it. The only way
here's the thing.
Here, I'll save you. I'll save you.
No, I can defend it. I know what it is.
Go ahead.
FPR isn't for people who've been here a million years. Sometimes
you got it.
You can take it. Yeah, KD. No, not KD doesn't count because KD isn't Nate or me or Dupree. Okay. With all due respect.
All right, fair enough.
So there are some situations where you can, with the agreement of everybody, and we're all screaming at Nate to get a fucking chair and hit us. So there was agreement in the match. Let me just put that out there. With some agreement, sometimes you can take liberties with the rules in very, very, very specific cases. If you're taking liberties with the rules without your opponent's permission, which is what grappling is, then I don't know what to tell you. That's your fault.
But see, even saying that sets a bad example. I wouldn't even say you can or you should or whatever.
No, you shouldn't.
I would say unless your name is Yellow and you've been here like a million billion years, because that's not an issue. But see,
so
that's what
it's like as an example.
In a wrestling term. In a wrestling term.
In a wrestling term.
Go ahead. I think we're going to the same place too.
Yeah, we are. So Vince McMahon says, "Don't you dare cut your head open." And somebody goes out there and cuts the fucking head open. And then they come back and they get chewed out by Vince, but at the end of the day, it made the match better. That's cool because... Or
here, my example is, think of it like a pile driver. You can't do that in WWE. Yeah. You'll get fucking screamed at.
But CM Punk did it because they're both...
Yeah, exactly. They're both pros.
In agreement.
And they're both in
agreement.
agreement.
Both know what they're doing.
And when they go to the
fucking
back,
do it.
Vince yells, but then he doesn't yell. But you know, you get the idea. So
Yeah.
that's the part. See, that's where someone like Jake would be like, "Oh, it has to be universal," and I believe him too. But it's like that's when we need to the hybrid. That you know, when it comes to advanced shit, you're not advanced. Don't try advanced stuff. Don't
And
try this
also
at home.
to that, Jake had a match where somebody came out during his match changed because of it. That's against FPR.
Wait, someone came what?
No, so he had what's happened in the past and what a few weeks ago. I can't remember the exact match, so don't fucking quote me on it. But it was recently. Somebody's music started to play, and the entrance happened and distracted him, and then the match actually changed. That's strictly against FPR. Strictly speaking, that's against FPR because FPR covers a match that goes from both men clear to somebody losing to a finisher after somebody's been red. There is no room in the middle in the rules for interrupting the match with some storyline shit. We do that because we're hybrid. That's the reason that we're allowed to use those tools sometimes. Don't always go to that well.
There you go.
Be in agreement with other people, but sometimes it is possible. Like, let's go with this as well.
You left out the part about, you know, as long as a competitive result occurred.
Yeah, as long as there is a result and there's
then
we go to we take it back to Lucian and we see Rex versus Lee, and we see that there is a specific point in that match where it's not the same match anymore. Now, where do we go from there as far as FPR is concerned? Well, we take the match that's previously happened, we disregard the middle bit because that's storyline flavor, and we continue to a point where the match can't be ended until there's been a finisher, which means that FPR is being followed within the confines of a bit where it wasn't being followed for flavor. The only reason that we allow flavor is because we're a storyline fed at the end of the day. We're not a league. That's the key thing.
Yeah, that's where I always go to hybrid, because if you're good at OCW, you can go based on the W or the L. If you're bad, you can only go by the W. But we don't do like, hey, you win this week, I win that week, then we fight to the pay-per-view. We just kind of we'll at most what we'll do is, and there's an example of this coming up, where we'll stack the deck against you to get the desired result. Like, for example, when it comes to like a championship match, if we want someone to lose the championship, you know, we'll do like a match that's very difficult to win. It's still, you know, and then if they do win, then hey, it is what it is. We got to plan accordingly. But if they don't, you know, the story can continue as needed. So there's little elements and moving parts that go into that. But at the end of the day, you still have to have that competitive result, because if not, it's a storyline fed, and then it becomes, oh, wow, you know, that's the slope that I never want to get to. Sometimes a storyline fed would be easier, but it becomes such a slippery slope, because I like to value the whole of skill, writing, production, and everything, not just, oh, your car's nice, and so here we should do this with you. No, because if that's the case, and I don't want to sound rude or nothing, but that means someone like Alice Asher, who has a really nice car, he would be like in the fucking you know, upper mid cards, good car, but it's like a good looking car, so it's like that doesn't make any sense. I mean, he does, or something. He wrote some tirade about something. I was like, he's like I wrote RPs and I didn't get a championship, a title tag team. I'm like, excuse me, like what the fuck? Just because you write doesn't, you know.
This is another thing that
I guess because you write.
Me and Jake went back and forth a while ago. I don't know how long this is. How long is this? Because I'm going to get into something else.
No, you can get into something else. Like, this is actually you being civil. It's strange. I'm not used to it.
Me and Jake had a conversation about what's showing up in OCW.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So my consideration of what's showing up is in OCW. It's not literally having content, because that doesn't serve any purpose as far as let's boil it down to what a wrestling show is. A wrestling show is two people simulating with personal issues around why they're going to have this fight. Okay? Simple as that.
Okay.
Now, if you just play the game, then you've got the combat, but where's the reason for having the combat? If you just promo, then what's the reason in promo? And you need the two together. So when you've got the two together, in OCW terms, usually what you do, and sometimes you don't, because sometimes you're in the low card, so you have to get you have to take opportunity when you can. But if the way that you should look at it is we're building to a pay-per-view main event, not a main event, sorry, a pay-per-view blow-off, a pay-per-view match, whatever. So how do we get to the pay-per-view? Well, that's where we're going to have the fight. So how do we get people to care about the fight is how you should be looking at it. You shouldn't be looking at it as, I need to put in content every week because I have to put in content every week. That's not the reason to do OCW. So showing up to me is any combination of just doing a match, just doing a promo with no end goal, or doing sporadic promos and stuff like that. So if you show up so you've got your pay-per-view match, say, I'm fighting you at the pay-per-view. That's at the pay-per-view. So we will initially kick that off, maybe interfere in somebody's match, maybe have just a backstage argument. But we then will build to the pay-per-view, still building with each other, so there's still an underlying theme. We will keep engaging with each other. But this week you might have a match. So this week you need to also build that match, because what's the reason of fighting that match? If you get what I mean, you always need a reason to have a match.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
In story, well, in wrestling sensibilities, because in storyline sensibilities, you could just build a storyline and never have a match. You could do that until you get to the actual blow-off match. You could never have the in-between bits. You could just be like, my name's this. Then next week, this is like the Mr. Perfect vignettes is a perfect example of them.
Yeah.
Where you could just do that over and over again, but you'd never be building a match. You'd just be building a character. So there's a way of doing OCW in that you can show up, you can do your match, you can get it done on time. Who cares? You don't break F.P.R. You're not a headache. Then you're there, you're there, but you're not showing up. Showing up to me is having a purpose. Showing up to me is being a guy who you can kind of... Ultimately, what you want in OCW is to have two rosters, PS4 and Xbox side, where anyone can be interchanged into a variety of positions. So let's take Sean McGee as an example from the olden days, because it's somebody I know well. I know his situation. I know what happened with him. He was a mid-carder for a long time, but he wasn't afraid to go to the low card and have a feud. But he was also competent enough that he could go up to the upper mid card to the main event and have a feud. He was like a variety. He was a switch hitter. Let's call him a switch hitter for US parlance, I guess.
Sure.
So he's a switch hitter. He can fill a variety of roles. What that means for Sean is that he has a variety of people to work with. He can put people over, but he can also be the big fish. He had this ability to do that stuff. That's what we need in OCW. We need people that can always do that. So the more people like that we've got, the better. What a person that isn't able to do that tends to be a person like Alex Asher, who will show up, do a promo, not know any of the names of champions, because that's a promo that I picked up on that I was so upset about, because it was just so stupid. So he doesn't even take the 5 seconds to look at the champion. Look at last week's show, find out who the champions are. But you're still going to talk shit and call out calling them the champions. Don't call them the champ. Refer to them. Have a purpose for doing it. And that, I'm like laying it out on the table in front of me, but that
it's amazing.
That is how you get from a person who has no purpose and is just here to do matches, what you would expect from a fresh off the boat rookie, for example, for their first month or two, where they're kind of just establishing themselves. They're not establishing that they're trying to do something else, because that's quite complicated. In terms of OCW, when you first join, you need to have a core and you need to have a semblance of a gimmick. So you can then take yourself to a more robust gimmick over a few months, learning to write, learning how OCW works, and then ultimately feuding. Some people get into feuding quicker than other people do, and it's kind of because they've done this before. They've done this sort of thing before. Some people, like T.Y. Sparks, for example, fresh off the boat, have never done e-fedding before, so doesn't have the same level of
understanding,
sort of duck to water situation. So somebody like Bobby came in and was immediately in feuds, immediately ready to go with everyone. Someone like T.Y. Sparks comes in, has only played the game, has only made cool-looking calls, so it doesn't have the next bit that kind of joins it all together. So he needs to build the next bit by working with people. But he doesn't necessarily have to feud with people because he might not be on their level yet, but he can take advice from them. He can sort of... It's hard for me to say because this sounds mental, but I've not been at the lower or mid card for a long time. So I can't really remember how I got from being that guy to being the next level. So it's hard to kind of call on my own experience there. But I've seen other people and I've seen what other people do to get over. And what other people do to get over is just define the fishbone of your character right at the start. Find somebody to work with, and mind you, find somebody that is as opposite to you as possible, so that you can have conflict. Because if you don't have conflict, what the fuck's the point? If you're feuding over who's the best face, like I've seen in OCW, who's the most smiliest face? Who cares? Who gives a shit? Nobody cares. Why would you care about that? But if you're feuding over, so you want to heal and you want to face, ultimately to be rubbing against each other and being, rubbing each other the wrong way. That's what you want. So then you want conflict, and then you end up where you end up. So where am I even going at this point? You're
basically trying to. I'm letting you string yourself out. You basically trying to. It's the basically wrestling 101. I'll give you a good example. Even though he's an annoying human being, he's a good purveyor of wrestling 101. Court Martial's character. His character has had an arc, and as of recently, his arc, he was in a blood feud with Shepard after the history that they had for almost a year, and now recently he's at the point where he's been using underhanded tactics. He did it at Resolution, and then he did it during the OCW live show. So that was used by another character who's returned on a redemption arc, Trey Golden, to basically say, hey man, you don't have to go this route, and I'm your boy, I got your back. To which Court is like, I'm Court's basically saying that I need to be like this because any place else what has happened to me, those people would be fired, or they would be reprimanded, or they would be removed. And Court's thing is I keep getting shitted on, so now I got to take control so that I don't get hurt anymore. I don't get shitted on anymore. So what happens is, Trey's like, nah, you don't have to be like that, this, that, and the third. So what happens further down the show, Trey has his match, he comes back, he confronts Court. Well, they have a meeting in the back, and basically Court turns heel and knocks him the fuck out. Basically telling him, see what happens when you try to play by the rules, Trey, because Trey lost. Like, see what happens when you play by the rules? Fuck you, bang. Now you have a feud. You have a guy who used to be a face trying to stand for everything, who's been broken down by everything around him. All his surroundings are breaking him down to the point where he's like, if this is how it has to be, then I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be protected. And he goes to the dark side, quote unquote, while Trey is still following the path of the face, aka the light. It's wrestling 101. And then what happens is like, yo, easy peasy, pay-per-view, and now I want to see it. And then when it comes competitive wise, they're both pretty even in the game mechanically, so now I'm like, this is going to be a good match, and it's locked in. So it's just that simple. But then you have people who don't understand those little concepts. I'll give you another one. Mad Mike, he's doing some kind of role play project thing, Discourse. I don't know all the specifics, but he's been basically building characters on the Advice channel and little story arcs, and with 3 or 4 lines and just bare bones stuff, he has me invested in characters that I want to see, which is like, it gets me to the point. It's like, how can he do that in such little time? And you have people who've been here for months, and like you don't really care. You get what I'm saying? Like, it sounds rude, but it's like you.
So with the experience specifically, because I've seen them, they came in and went with somebody else's idea. So as far as I can tell, Keith was the mind behind that gimmick.
No, but I'm not even talking about them. I'm just saying
which is fine. But what that doesn't give you is a sense of what your character is. If you're just coming in as a sidekick, then how can you be able to carry that character? You don't know what the character is meant to be. You have to define your own character. And Court, for the most annoying person in the world that he is a guy who defines characters. He does define his own character, and he knows where he wants to go with the character, regardless of how you. Basically, the easiest way to lay out in OCW is pick somebody to feud with. Pick somebody that you like. Ultimately, that's going to be easy to feud with. So I would pick my first big level feud was Matsuda. The reason that I picked Matsuda was because his character and my character had quote unquote Japanese heritage. So I had just come from Japan in character wise. He had been in the company where I came from. So it was picking up a fake blood feud that we basically sat down and went, okay, we're going to Lucian with it. How are we going to get to Lucian? And we go through what a little bit of backstory and how we know each other, where we're going to go. You hit plot points. So you go, well, we need to escalate this. So I'm going to slap your uncle. That's what I did. I slapped his uncle. So we go from nothing, little bit of backstory, to a plot point, which is I need to escalate. So we're going to slap your uncle. He's going to get back at me. And then we're going to go back and forth on it. So you plot out, doesn't need to be specifics, but needs to be, this is our end point. How do we get to the end point? So little bit of start, Trey versus Court, for example. They've got a little bit of history sort of cross. Sorry. Then we go Court versus Shepherd, sorry.
Yeah.
So they came into their blood feud having had, they used to be a tag team. That's right?
They used to be a tag team. They used to be tag team champions. Shepherd turned on Court, and then they had a feud. Then Court was the Pride champion. Then Shepherd took it from Court. And then they kind of petered out for a little bit. Then they met again. Then they escalated in order to get Shepherd into the FI. Shepherd wound up pissing on Court's dad's grave. So that's awesome.
So if we go from the beginning of that, tag team breaks up. That's your nucleus of what you're going to do. That's your big bang. So tag team breaks up. Then tag team breaks up, ends at blood feud blow off, which was, when was that?
I don't even remember. I just know that at one point Court became the Pride champion, and then Shepherd took it from Court, or maybe it's the other way around. But I think it was the first way.
So you can go from having there's your big bang, there's your end point. Doesn't matter how long it takes you to get to the end point. Sometimes you can go back and forth. Me and Nate have been feuding technically for years, but we don't feud every single second. We pop up every now and then and kind of ram into each other. And there's a reason for it. Yeah, reignite. But you have the ending was Lucian. That was the ultimate end, because that's the end of where we're going to be going against each other. Same versus Dupree versus Nate. Nate versus Dupree started out as being like a little meh. I think it actually started out when Nate cost Dupree the title against me. That was the first time they interacted.
Oh wait, when was that?
2013, 12 or something.
It might have been that.
So
like
that
was that before or after him and Dupree fought?
That was way before. I think that was actually the reason that we did that was because they were going to fight at SummerSlam.
Okay, yeah, because they fought at SummerSlam, and that was when Dupree, he beat Nate, and like Nate didn't even get a finisher, and then Nate like went away for a while, and I was very sad because
we did. So basically, that was born out of a little big bang, which was Nate costing Dupree the world title, and then that spiraled into multiple years of SummerSide matches and culminating at Lucian. The reason we did Fame, we came up with the idea a year ago. Like last year when I just come back, or when I just left just after the Elimination Chamber, we always said we were going to have this little thing that would lead to a Lucian main event. Didn't matter the components of how we were going to get to Lucian main event. We were going to be interacted with each other the whole way. So that's how we ended up with that. But that's an advanced thing that we were saying before. So as a simple thing, and this is advice to every single, not even just rookies, sophomores, anyone doing anything at the moment, grab somebody who is as close to the very polar opposite of your character. So if you're a happy-go-lucky guy, look for a dark character. Look for somebody who's going to go to the depths to fuck you up. Bump into each other. Do something to each other. Cost someone a match. Just knock somebody's fucking dinner over in catering. Whatever. Just something. Doesn't matter how little, how big. It needs to escalate. Once it escalates, then we're excited to see it at the pay-per-view. That's all you need to do. That's the feud.
It's super easy.
Don't just show up and do a promo because that's what you have to do to get booked. That's the worst thing you can do in OCW, because you'll get booked once and get forgotten about. That's how you get booked once. The goal is to be booked on every single available show. Now, it doesn't happen because we've got quite a big roster, but every single available show and every single pay-per-view should be your goal, really. Because if you're doing a feud, then you're always going to have a blow-off match, which usually happens at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, specify usually.
Yeah, so if you're listening to this now as a rookie, that's forget that you hate me, forget that you've been told that I'm the devil. Let's just boil it down to this. Look at the roster around you. Is there anybody there that is either untested or has had feuds in the past, but it's kind of not doing anything at the moment? Prime example of that, probably most of the time, is somebody's alt. It couldn't be somebody in the main event, but they've probably got an alt knocking about that they might want to use. There's a couple of people that I know that kind of will use an alt to get someone else over. Kent was doing that for years. Kent would make an alt just to get someone over. That's just something he used to do. So you want to find somebody that's either kicking the heels or just not really doing anything. You don't even have to have a good match with them as a blow-off match.
I mean, I would say it'd be nice because it helps.
Yeah, but it's a bonus. I mean, that the feud is what gets you to the match. The match can be dog shit, but the feud gets you there. Prime example, Jess versus Capo. Rubbish match, awful match. But the journey to get there, people were interested in seeing it. So I am a bad example of that as well, because I used to be a guy that would not do... If I couldn't get a good match out of the person, I wouldn't even touch them. I wouldn't go anywhere near them. And it was just a thing that I had. If I had to carry everything, I wouldn't be involved in it, because I like a two-way street. You know what wrestling is because you watch wrestling all the time. Oh, some people do, some people don't. But the reason that you're in OCW is you have seen wrestling at some level. So you understand that bad versus good is what sells the match. So you go and you're a good guy, go and find a bad guy. Then the bad guy will beat you up for a set amount of weeks. Then you finally get your revenge at the pay-per-view. Simple arc. Really simple arc, yeah? That's something yeah. So
there's all kinds of like little things. Like I think that once you're invested in a character, then it helps kind of sell you too. Like that goes back to the whole Mike thing. Mike made a female alt who he gave the backstory was like 4 lines, and just from that I'm like, yeah, I wish that character was active.
I think in Hollywood they call it a character treatment.
I guess,
which is basically,
some people don't even have that. You ask them what's their car, and they just go like high flying, exciting. That doesn't do anything for me.
No,
like, why?
Yeah, they need.
Why?
If you come in and you have
indie moveset number 17, I don't care.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people in OCW like that. Like if I just go down the roster of people let me just find it, bring it up really quick.
Yeah, you can bring it up. And while you're talking about that, I'll give you another example of a good story. Like the Ashley and Valkyrie, they've been feuding for fucking I don't know how long. And then as of this week, now that Valkyrie is the world's women's wrestling champion, Empress and Ashley have teamed up again, even though they were only broken apart for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. But they've teamed up again. They've gone to Valkyrie's hometown, and it looks like they're gonna they're in Valkyrie's hometown looking for her parents, which means heel things are going to happen to Valkyrie's parents, where they're going to probably going to beat the shit out of someone's parents. A little bit escalating.
That's a well that gets gone to quite a lot. So this is my wrestling sensibility is that anything that happens should happen inside an arena, like because in the outside world, you start beating up parents, you go into jail, so it's not realistic. If you do it inside an arena in the context of wrestling, becomes a little bit more easy to digest, if that makes sense. In terms of real fake wrestling is what I'm trying to say. So it's fake wrestling, but it's also based on real wrestling.
That makes sense. Like when you bring up those weird things, but then that opens up Pandora's box to everything else. So in the confines of OCW, like this is fine anyway, because you can't, because that was literally the same thing that court specified. He's like, because remember, Shepard basically defiled the grave of Court's father outside of the ring, so that would mean that's what court said. Court said specifically any place else he would be arrested for XYZ charge. Literally what you just said.
Yeah, it's true though. It's wrestling sensibility that.
But it's still, but it can't be applied here. I mean, it could be applied, but that's going into nuance.
It can be, but OCW, there's a weird thing,
You can't, because
we have so much freedom.
Yeah.
To do whatever we want. We've got too much freedom, so you need just enough. You need to have a handle on yourself to have just enough freedom and understand that sometimes it is possible to escalate. Pissing on a grave, technically,
That's
in some
actually
places isn't even a law.
no, there is a law. That's
No, but some places it's not against the law.
it's something about desecration, and then like beating the shit out of somebody's parents in a foreign country. I don't know. I'm sure it's a law. I'm sure it's illegal, but I don't fucking know.
So if I just go from the top of the active users in the past 24, AC Cobra's gimmick is that he's a gamer. That's why he doesn't leave the mid card, because he doesn't have another wrinkle to him. Well, when he gets another wrinkle, and he has been getting another wrinkle as like an underdog,
then I was gonna say
he becomes a more interesting proposition. Antonio Everett, he's a sort of MMA-ish guy, young, brash, but there's always the underlying thing of he could feud with Doc, because they're so close that at some point they need to explode. That's just wrestling 101. So he's got another wrinkle that he can move into. Ashley Moore kind of just... I don't really get Ashley Moore's character, so...
Rich bitch.
It's just like, a mean lady.
Rich bitch.
She doesn't have... I've not seen more of a wrinkle in the stuff that I've seen. So, Austin Lee, again, I don't see him as having a lot of wrinkles. He's kind of a big MMA stylish guy with the hashtags. When he first came back, he was all about the hashtags, which I'd sort of thrown away a couple of years before. So he was just doing my gimmick in my colors when he first came back. So he had to do something different after that, which he ended up doing. But I'm still talking to the camera like it's on.
I love it.
I'm looking at
it's fine.
No,
it's
this camera over here.
I know. I'm watching you.
But then
I'm watching the fucking fire in your belly.
Not B17, because B17, his wrinkle. What's the word? Just they're insane sometimes. Like they're there, and fair enough. His thing initially when he first came in was, I have no gimmick. Was his gimmick when he came in. So he went completely the opposite way and became a gimmick. And now he's sort of
he was like the B community stuff, which is best described as LBGG.
Slightly offensive.
Yeah, sure.
Only slightly offensive.
Okay, and then the current gimmick is it's heel, but it's like, it's not a gimmick per se, but the story is basically that Doc is using, the fans are gonna turn on Doc like they turned on him, which is basically like the prophecy kind of gimmick.
That makes sense.
Simple. You don't have to get crazy sometimes.
But then having what I'm trying to get at is having the nuance is what you need. You can be Benji Moore. Wait, no, Benji Moore's a bad example. Is it? Who's the one with the twins? Is that Elliot Parker?
Yes, Elliot's the one with the twins.
That's fucking mental. He needs to dump that immediately because that doesn't go anywhere. That's
well, I believe
don't mean anything.
I believe his gimmick is slightly Undertaker-ish.
You just said I believe though. Like
I say I believe because the way that it's been explained is now this is where I gotta play devil's advocate. So his gimmick is that him and his sister died in a car accident like X amount of years ago. So
where's the camera?
Exactly. How if we had a video podcast? Hey man, they call the Undertaker the dead man, do they not?
In 1991,
they even still when he came back.
Yeah, but
look at the WrestleManias, bro. It's always been the dead man. That's I know it hurts. It hurts for you to admit that, but that's
no. So I have a comeback to it.
Yeah.
That's his gimmick, which is fine, but then that's two characters with the same gimmick that he's trying to do. The twin is irrelevant here.
Okay.
Like the twin is just it's not a wrinkle. It's more of like it's like having an alt. It's like having two characters that with exactly the same gimmick, which is Parker's way of doing things. Parker Stevens. So
well, I do believe one of them is a little bit more aggressive than the other one, based because
I don't know.
Of the
maybe it's kind of.
I'm not on board with it 100%, but I understand it. If that makes any sense.
But Bobby Mineo when he came in, good talker, indie legend was how he sold himself.
Okay.
And a gobshite, doesn't ever shut up, just keeps talking.
Yeah.
The One Man Revolution. He came in with wrinkles. He came in ready to go. He came in ready to fit any situation. So that's kind of, he was a bad one. He's a bad example because he was doing e-fedding before, so he knows what he's doing. He knew what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Cole Jackman, just a weirdo. What's his actual gimmick apart from being a weirdo?
I think that's the gimmick. He's a fucking lunatic. A weirdo.
Yeah, so that's why sort of there's no extra nuance to it. Other people, the best way to describe it, if provide your nuance,
Wait, you broke up. If what?
If other people have to provide your nuance, then it's probably not a good thing.
Okay.
So
fair.
So say with me, for example, I can always go to
The bathroom.
Old school psychopath, but I can go to like there's bits to me that have always been I can chameleon into other roles if I need to.
Okay.
With code, code is psychopath, like a lunatic. So he can always be a funny lunatic, or he can be a funny lunatic who's a bad guy.
Kind of funny right now. It's very strange, is what I'd say it right now. Very strange.
As Court is again a bad example because he's big into. He's got a lot of wrinkles. Basically what I'm saying is you can't get from the low card to the top of the card without having more than one character trait. Damian Bourne's character trait is.
I don't know.
Fill it in for me.
I don't know.
I don't know Danny Watts or Dirty Mac. Doc Green's is plucky underdog, but now he's arrogant arsehole being.
Oh no, Doc Green. Well. He hasn't actually been arrogant. That's more Antonio Everett. Doc Green would be what was the point you said? Plucky what? Plucky I would say plucky underdog, and then maybe the gravity of trying to hold the company on your shoulders, perhaps. Yeah, perhaps. Which is kind of
but that's what he's growing into.
It falls
he's
into
going from the bottom to up.
It falls into
Drago came in as a ridiculous hunter, who then came into a ridiculous hunter who was a unstoppable in the ring. So he grew into it. Again, that's what I'm trying. When you get the second wrinkle or the third wrinkle, suddenly you become a better proposition.
Yes.
So it's about and I guess it's growing into your character rather than you can feud forever and just do the same thing and never get anywhere.
He grew into that, but remember when he was hunting, it was basically hunting people, but it was making them animals by one characteristic.
It was like personifying them as
what's
the backwards way? Giving them animalistic traits and stuff.
Yeah, like for example, Cobra was the air conditioning Cobra. So everybody he hunted was considered an animal, like he had them as an animal. Like Luke Fuentes was Luke Bear, and
I remember Luke.
Luke Bear. Fucking come on, Luke. Yeah, so he grew into that. There's a few. But
to not go over the whole roster, basically, once you add your wrinkle, Cassidy's a good example because Cass was, he was almost like. He was a vampire hunter that nobody really got, so he became a vampire instead. Yes. He looked really cool. Only actually got anywhere when he started. I think when he started his cult, or maybe just before then. I'm not sure what the timeline is there, but I know that he did something different because when he was kind of Turmoil's champion, he was kind of nothing. He was just showing up to do matches showing up.
He didn't really get. He started to get somewhere when he had the feud with Spider.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it kind of built from there, and then from there he went to the whole cult leader thing, and he rode that wave for almost a year, I believe, maybe about a year. He rode the cult leader thing, and it helped that it didn't hurt rather that the Ghost where he's based it off, because it's based off that singer, but he was able to take elements from that singer's that guy performer's artwork and everything, and then integrate it with his character. So if you want to look at something similar, you can maybe compare Vampiro and the Juggalo thing, or Sting and the Crow thing. It's like very similar. So it's like a rip, but it's not a rip if that makes any sense. And it kind of helped because since that was so established, it helped give credibility to his version of it.
Yeah.
Which is
So basically, you can languish in the low card if you want to, and you can do this thing over again. But adding something interesting to your characters where you can get somewhere. So some people never have to add anything to the character. Some people. I'm trying to think of an example of that. So, but let me go with one that I know well. Dupree was the fire, then kind of fizzled, like he'd literally burnt out, and then turned into betterness. When he was betterness, that was when he went to the moon. Basically, he became the top guy because he was turning into betterness. It's kind of hard because I'm not saying change your gimmick every few months because that is a complete gimmick change, but Once you understand who your character is, then you understand how you can use that character against other characters. And once you're using your character to the best of their ability against other characters, you suddenly become a main eventer without knowing it most of the time.
Yeah.
So I know that, say, if I watch Juki Marley's this is an example. This is a perfect example. Juki's been here almost as long as I have. What's his gimmick? I'm Jamaican.
Yeah.
Where's he got? Maybe not past the mid card. He beat Parker once. Who cares? Who gives a shit? I'm looking in the camera.
Yeah, he's Jamaican.
Yeah, that's his gimmick. And that's always been his gimmick. He's been here forever and he's never changed his gimmick. He always goes to the same well. He always goes back to it. And it's
Guy
you'll
or
never.
die.
Yeah, the well will remain at the same level. Sometimes you have to fill up the well to come back to the well for there to be water.
One.
If you leave a gimmick, betterness, and you come back to the fire at Lucian, then there was a pop in the viewing party because some people weren't aware of that or they'd only seen old stuff of him as the fire. But now he comes back to that, and if you wanted to, the well's full again because he's not been going to it so much. It's all character development. It's all simple shit. It's all you can learn so much by just watching wrestling and watching TV. You watch TV, so let's go take an example. Always Sunny in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
The characters in season 12, same characters, much more fleshed out, much kind of. You see more elaborate shit happening. You see they're more tied to other stuff because they've had time to grow. When you grow a character, they fit into stuff better. Once they fit into stuff better, stuff starts to click. And that's how you do OCW.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's. I had a point, but my brain just literally fucking evaporated when you started talking. God damn it! It was a really good point too. Well, I guess that'll wrap it up.
Yeah, this is why I say stuff like. So let me go on specifically. Let me talk about Valkyrie for a second, because Valkyrie took comments I made personally, I guess, or was told comment. It's kind of like the Jim Cornette. So it was Sunny Days, or was it Sunny Kiss?
Was it Sunny Days?
It was Sunny Kiss. Sorry. And basically, what happened was Jim Cornette said something about him looking like a drag queen because that's Jim Cornette's 84, and Jim Cornette knows people who dress up as women as transvestites. He said transvestite. That's probably not the right word, so Jim Cornette was in trouble for it. But that was what happened. But people reporting that as a homophobic rant. That's basically what happened here with me and Valkyrie. I didn't say anything particularly bad. I basically said I didn't get the Valkyrie character. But it plays back into what I was saying. Valkyrie's character has been, historically, I'm going to be a good guy face for a while, long while. Yeah, is that fair to say?
Underdog good guy, and then
underdog good guy.
It's pretty much been
what's the
underdog.
then that you were just about to say?
No, because in the beginning it was underdog good guy when he was actually losing, and then it became it still stood kind of underdog, but it's kind of hard to be underdog when you win. So it shifted to more of being like I guess like maybe the number one woman, I guess, character maybe. Like I'm trying to verbalize it, but you get what I mean.
Being added. Yeah, a wrinkle being added along the way.
Yeah, there has been wrinkles added.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Wrinkles added.
Actually, you know what the funny part about Valkyrie is that you are directly responsible for, and I'm sure this will be contended, but you are directly responsible for the level at which Valkyrie got over on the set on the front the facet that because of the Fame angle I wound up doing that goofy Fame booking, which in turn kind of brought Valkyrie to be like kind of like that fucking Lady Stone Cold gimmick. That's
so fucking welcome.
That's a direct result. Honestly, that's like the biggest happy accident because the first match was booked and then what happened and then I went into my McMahon bag and then he ran with it. So we basically it just kept stacking the deck and then overcoming the odds, stacking the deck, overcoming the odds, go fuck yourself, and then it became an anti-hero kind of. and then finally the firing thing, and then the rehiring thing, and then the match, and then now back to, and then during the firing thing, being like broken or whatever, fuck this company, fuck everybody, da 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 da, and then coming back and then finding your smile. So that's
an example of like finding.
That's a direct result of the fame. Like, I'm sure that there was a trajectory, but my interaction with the Valkyrie character was spawned because of the fame thing, and that led to a lot of the shit that happened. So
that's an example of making the best of what is thrown at you.
Exactly.
And that's something that is also a big part of OCW, is you don't have to win every match, but you have to make the best of every single match, regardless of the result. So Jim Ross says that one of the big things that he always used to tell people when he was, I guess, talent relations, was maximize your minute. You're only out there for a set amount of time. So every time we see you, you should be doing something that builds value or stock in your character. So if you're not doing that, if you're just showing up and having your match, then it's kind of whatever. Like, we only see you to have a match, so who cares? But if you take something from each match and can build with it, then you end up being where Valkyrie's got, which is
I guess number one of the division.
Yeah.
And which leads to something that he said, that like, once he became champ, it's like a little different now. People like kind of approach and work different, which is kind of weird. Like, did you ever have that experience
with
like when you became like the champ?
Yeah, nobody wants to work with you, but not because you have to go and find opponents.
Okay,
is what I found. That could be because I'm the Shawn Michaels of this, and I'm a piece of shit.
Okay,
but I did find that I had to go and find opponents. I find now that I've kind of transcended that, and I can pick who I. People come to me with ideas.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, nah, shit. Or, yeah, I'll do that. But I've found that the worst reputation that I've got, thanks to Dennis Black and the subsequent stuff after that, the more people have been willing to come into my DMs. It's weird. So before then, like, nobody would approach me and nobody would be like, oh, because it was a weird situation. During that time, it was weird because I was painted as being this devil guy, and the only thing that I care about more than myself is OCW in this sense. Everything that I've ever done in OCW has been to make OCW a better place, regardless of whether that's just for me or whether that's for everyone. I've always, like we've gone over a million times in the past, I was the one that kicked you up the arse in about 2015 to actually do something with OCW.
You and Bob, I specified that, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Even though people take it personally, everything that I say and do is for the betterment of OCW. And when I come with, how long have we been talking? No, like 2 hours.
No, not even. Just about to hit an hour 12.
Yeah, so
we're gonna wrap up soon. But
this whole thing is just I'm not in OCW anymore. I'm going to do my own thing, and it's going to be a one-off thing, and we know about that. I've told people about that already.
I told you that I would help you. You told me to go fuck myself.
Yeah, I did tell you to go fuck yourself.
It's not. Yeah, but it wasn't like that. It wasn't, whatever. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. So basically, the reason. Yeah. So, but I will always be, if I can help out with OCW, and I can do that. That's
that what you broke up. You would what for OCW?
I would, if I can do something that's going to make OCW better or stronger, I will always do that. That's what I've always done. That's why I was so annoyed when I did that podcast. You fucking idiots were all there doing thumbs down on it. All you're doing is putting thumbs down on Jay's fucking YouTube channel. Like, that is the most stupid thing that you can do. Just because you don't like me, call me a piece of shit in Discord. I don't care. But don't go thumbing down a video on the YouTube channel that someone's trying to build, because you retarded is what you are. And if you click thumbs down on that video, and if you click thumb down on this video, you're a piece of shit, and you should immediately think about leaving OCW if you're trying to sabotage you like that. The goal is not to upset one person. The goal is to make OCW viable, big. Jay gets money from Patreon, but Jay puts thousands of dollars worth of his own money into everything that you see in OCW. He's done it consistently year after year after year. You put a tiny donation and you put $10 in. You put fucking, how much is the average person giving on Patreon a month?
I think it's $15.
Yeah, so 15 times, what do you say, 11?
Oh no,
16?
it's actually 16 now. So I'm grateful. Thank you to patrons, by the way. Appreciate that.
Yeah, so if we let me do this. I'm gonna
I just
wait
got
on
my I
because I
got my
can't do
first I
this.
got my first Twitch check too. It's on the way. It's not here yet.
16 times.
It's about after taxes is about $1.40.
Yeah, so $140 does not even begin to touch web hosting for a year, does not even begin to touch any of the stuff that Jay's invested over the years. Yet you motherfuckers still want to sabotage him. I don't understand it. I don't understand you're not here because you being over in OCW means that you are 30 people maximum in the world. That's it. Don't come here and try and sabotage shit to get your own personal gain out of it, because at the end of the day, you're only affecting 30, 50 people maybe in the world. What we want to do is, when you go into business for yourself, be doing that in front of 1,000 people, be doing that in front of 5,000, 10,000 viewers. Who gives a shit after that? Because we've got there. The goal is to build OCW to a level where Jay doesn't have to put so much of his own fucking money into it. It's self-sufficient. That's all it needs to be. If OCW becomes self-sufficient, then you can do whatever the fuck you want after that, because I don't care. But he's put so much of his own money in that it's rude for you to sit there and disregard shit that comes out, whinge about shit that comes out, not follow F.P.R. Not following F.P.R. is spitting in Jay's face, because he's put literally how much do you say that you spend a year, do you reckon, on OCW web hosting, just hosting?
Money or
money, cash.
I'm very bad at math. The monthly thing, I mean the yearly thing is coming up now, but I spend about maybe $50 a month, $60 a month total with everything.
So let me get the calculator. And have you done that consistently for the years? It was more than that at one point, wasn't it?
No, I think no. Because I have one that I pay a year, and that's I pay for the year, which is about $2 and change. I think it's $220, and that's not including domains. So let's do it for the year. Just use 50. I think it's 50. It might be more.
So 50.
It might be a little
times
bit.
12 is 600. You've been running this site for 12
so that's
years?
Wait, that's 600. Then add 250 to that.
Okay.
Then add $7.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
600 plus 250
and
plus
80. What do you get?
And then we get 900, and then we times that by the 12 years you've been doing. $11,000 of Jay's own money has gone into OCW.
It's a little bit more than that, but no,
more than that.
Whatever. You get the idea, though. Whatever.
And what has he got to show for it?
Crippling arthritis.
Crippling arthritis, anxiety.
Gray hairs, anxiety.
A community full of people who just want to go into business for themselves.
Not all.
Be better, be smarter, and be a good OCWer, and dump some money in Jay's Patreon, because that's what needs to happen. Put it in there. Put it in the fucking donate box. I don't care.
I didn't even do the fucking what you call it, the fundraiser yet. I left it out. I'm probably just gonna take some Patreon money and move it over, or maybe I'll just use my Twitch check. I'll probably just use my Twitch check after.
No, that's your own money. You keep.
Well, no, according to some people, it's their money because they provided the content.
Who said that?
I think Trance.
Go fuck yourself. It's not your money. Once Jay's clear of $11,000, then it's your money. You can take it then. But it's not your money. That's what I said to you about House of Food. What I said to you about House of Food was, when we initially did the thing, I was going to take like 20% off whatever you made. But then I was like, actually, I'm already in the hole for like $1,000 at this point, or whatever it was. Yeah. So I was like, well, no. Once that grand's paid, then we start talking about giving out money, dividends and shit.
You know what? You know what's hilarious about OCW? I really have 4 revenue streams, but they're all mediocre. But I have 4 of them. I have the Patreon, I have the Twitch, I have D Live, which I haven't. Twitch, I ordered a check. D Live, I haven't even touched, but I think I have $7 on D Live, and then the T-shirt store is up to like maybe $17. I have 4 mediocre revenue streams. I'm 100 air.
So yeah, show some respect. Stop going into business for yourself. We're trying to build a brand. We're trying to build stuff. So don't come in here.
I'm 100 air. That's amazing.
You should be willing. It should be like real wrestling, where in real wrestling,
I would
you
love to
are
reward
willing.
people, man. Fuck.
You are willing to do business. If you're willing to do business, that means sometimes you got to lose. Sometimes you've got to, in real wrestling, this is, sometimes you've got to lose. Sometimes you've got to take, sometimes you've got to eat a little bit of shit so that OCW prospers. I've done it. I laid down for Dupree at Lucian with every fiber of my being. I fucking hated that I had to do that. But the reason I did it was because that was the best ending of the match.
How dare you?
That was it. No, well, he'd already done 3 finishes as well, which was me following the rules. But
yeah, well, you could have kicked out.
I could have kicked out, but I didn't. I just laid there.
Like,
and that's what you got to be thinking all the time. The best match is the best match is built by the best feud. Do everything that you can, and OCW prospers. And when OCW prospers, Jay can die at 45 in peace. We might be able to pay for Jay's funeral. So that's all the money into his Patreon.
That'd be nice. That'd be
and then
nice.
His dad, who outlives him because his dad's
fucking
a stronger man
Hercules.
than him.
Yeah. No, because now the whole thing with F.P.R, people are like, some people are like, fucking Adam has gone. Adam had like a titty attack at Turmoil, which is weird. Like, I don't know.
Because he didn't have anyone to stooge after.
How dare you?
No, let's move on. Let's go.
Well, I think we're done. So it's just you see how surprisingly calm. You see how when you're like a normal human being, we can have normal human conversations and messages can be left across without No,
I can do these all day. This wasn't funny at the time because that's put it into perspective. What I was doing for Lucian was trying to rile people up to watch Lucian, which I did, by the way. I riled people up.
Oh, that's what the smart people expected. But it's even prior to that. It's that energy. People don't understand that energy, and they just get worked into a shoot. And I don't know. That's what I always said. Like, even when we looked at the old documents where you got Livid, you saw that a lot of it was basically people saying, "Look, that's what he does. That's what he does." Sometimes you just gotta turn it off because the problem. I don't necessarily dislike that because it's entertaining to watch when some people get wild up. The problem is, even I do it sometimes. The issue is that when you have a legitimate message, it gets lost, and you can admit that the message will get lost because people just can't see. And then the thing is, you want to fault someone for taking the bait, and you can't do that. If you can't stick your finger up someone's ass and then swirl it around, and then when they turn around and backfist, you go, dude, I was just playing around. You can't do that. You can't once the rabbit's out the hat, you can't fault the rabbit for running away. So you can't be surprised or shocked when I'm like, well, that person ignored you. That person said, go fuck yourself. These people don't even care what you say. Like, well, then they're missing the point. Like, you can't be surprised by that. That's the only issue that I had with you when I was like, because when you do have valid,
but fundamentally, some people do miss the concept.
No, some people are dense. Some people are dense. But the thing is, when you have good advice or good messages, those get lost. So that's the same thing that like, for example, Charlemagne, the God, that someone we spoke about before, had. He was called the prince. At one point he was calling himself the Prince of Pissing People Off and all that other shit. And when he started popping, that was his thing. He would rile up rappers and then just make a face like, "Whoa, why you mad?" And then over time that went away, and he stopped doing that because he got bigger. And even with Howard Stern, same thing happened with Howard Stern. He mentioned how he doesn't even want to look at all his old shit because he didn't like hearing his own voice, and he didn't like any of that shit that he was doing. It's fun to rile people up, but you have to understand that when you do that, a lot of times any message, anything of truth or value will get lost. My thing is, I'll fuck around with people, but then I'll tone it back, and then we go back to the even field. You will just fucking go and 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 go, and then just have the audacity to say, what? Oh, you're not used to what? You can't do that, but I'm glad, this is a nice round of content that we created in the past couple of hours. So I'm happy with this. And, I think it was a good conversation. We need more of these. I enjoyed this greatly. I didn't get to say much, but I didn't have to because you pretty much covered it fundamentally.
I can talk all day.
I know you can.
Now my voice hurts.
But yeah,
I was supposed to do more content today at houseofhoot.com on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Link in this video as well.
I did. Well, I do. See, that's the other thing too. You talk all this shit about me, but even when you're talking anti fucking OCW shit, I would link you on the promo channel.
I wore an OCW t-shirt on one of my videos.
I know.
For it, you scolded me for it.
with Pete.
So don't try and say that I don't try and cross. You hear what's going on in the background?
I don't know. We've established I'm insane. So anyway, thank you for listening, and we'll see you when we see you. Have a nice night or day. It just turned afternoon, so we're done here. Bye.